Listen folks, there's a new breed of trader out there crushing the markets. And it's not Reddit kids, and it's certainly not YouTube trading gurus. I think you'll be surprised. Ladies, this one's for you. And boys, stick around because we got some pretty freaking steamy workouts prepared for you. And the instructor, well, I think you'll like it. Hey, just quickly, remember the 4 pillars of success. Like this video, comment, subscribe, and enable the bell notifications. I need to grow without selling courses, so please do me a favor. Back to the video. Let's cut to the chase. 56% of women say that fear holds them back from investing. And why wouldn't they be afraid? I mean, the market is this scary, unpredictable thing. And frankly, us guys, we're better investors, right? The myth of trading and investing being a man's game, frankly, is just that, a myth. But before we tap into some girl power, let's take a step back and think about the idea of investing. I mean, we've all seen Wall Street. A bunch of alpha males, pretty much just like me. That was a joke, by the way. Deals are getting done on the golf course, in strip clubs, and over martini-soaked lunches.
You're gonna bring us 2 absolute martinis.
Excellent strategy, sir.
And in case you didn't know, over 96% of the top jobs are occupied by someone titled Mr. And while this reality in Wall Street is still alive and well, don't let it fool you that investing is just a man's world. Once we take a step back and actually look at the data from the modern 2021 trading environment as a whole, we begin to see a very, very different picture. Hey, shut up for a second. Don't worry guys, us boys, we like to pick on each other. Now in case you haven't picked it up, this video is all about creating a movement. Frankly, I'm sick and tired of women not getting the same opportunities as us guys because of their gender. I want an equal playing field for all of us. And even though my channel is still tiny, I decided I could do my best to make a change. With that said, if you see a girl that's crushing it on the YouTube space, reaching her goals, getting after it, first of all, I want you to send her this video. Second of all, I want you to spam their content wherever you can put it with the hashtag #GirlsGetItDone. That's hashtag #GirlsGetItDone. But don't do it now, do it after this video, because trust me, once you've seen what I presented, you will believe in that hashtag as much as I do. Back to the video. Now, before I tell you the numbers, what really shocked me are some of these surveys that were done. They show that only 9% of women think that they make a better investor compared to a man, which to me, it's bonkers. It's not like trading is a physical strength contest. It's not like we're hauling logs uphill or pounding sand. By the way, there's some ladies who can kick our asses in that too. We're freaking clicking the mouse, reading and typing on a keyboard. More so, trading can be a source of income that requires zero social interaction. There's no job interviews, no networking, no certification, no education required. You don't have a boss who's gonna harass you.
Some big fucking bosses. Attitude. Poor performance. Poor management skills. Poor works well with others. That's a fucking joke.
There is literally almost nothing standing in the way of anyone, regardless of their gender, to become successful at trading, other than the market itself. What's the deal here, ladies? You gotta believe in yourself. Now, I can talk all day long, but that's not gonna increase the percentage of believers. What about some numbers? Studies show that when women do invest, they consistently outperform their chimp counterparts. That's right, the girls don't just match the boys, they beat them. When analyzing client data from over 8 million accounts, Fidelity found that female investors achieved the performance increase of over 40 basis points over men. Now, that's 0.4%. On top of this, women saved more by another 0.4%. Now wait, I know what you're thinking. Who cares? 0.4%? It's tiny. Who cares about that? And look, I get it. Statistics suck. But if you want to understand why more ladies should get involved with investing, you kind of have to look at them. You see, when that 0.4% is combined with a little thing called compound interest, you begin to see just how much of an advantage ladies have over us. Imagine a girl and a guy are competing to see who can make the most amount of money investing. If you both start investing at, say, the age 22 with a salary of $50,000, using the rates of return and savings I presented before, by the age of retirement, the girl has made, drum roll, $276,000 more than the guy. Yeah, not exactly a small sum. Statistics might suck, but a couple of $100,000 in the bank certainly doesn't. Now, you know, using that excess money, you could make repeat trips to Bora Bora and hang out with Enrique, the handsome yoga instructor.
encouragement. So I will transfer you my energy.
Now you show me a girl who's gonna say no to that. It's no wonder that in 2017, Fidelity alone had seen the number of female investors grow to more than 12 million. Now this trend continues to this day because eToro sent us a mail that showed that female traders of Bitcoin have surged to 15% just last year. The findings are quite clear in my estimation. Women underestimate their strengths in both investing and also saving. Or more simply, they underestimate just how much money girl power can make them. I don't know about you ladies, but 300 grand when you're retired, kids have long moved out, you can literally spend the rest of your days in a tropical paradise somewhere in Asia, just with that tiny 0.4%. I know, because I've done it. It's not expensive. Something else I found that's really cool. Warwick Business School analyzed over 2,000 investors and looked at the male and female investor behavior over a 36-month period. Not only did ladies outwork the guys, they also outperformed the FTSE 100 index, which is basically like the 100 top companies in the UK. Quite astonishing results, I would say. I believe this comes down to our psychology, which in turn comes down to the types of stocks that we choose. Where men are more drawn to high risk, high reward stocks and frequent trading, women are more drawn to stable, long-term investments and less frequent trading. You know, what's going to support the family in the long run, instead of how can I buy a Mercedes-Benz in the next 2 months to impress some chicks. Anyways, I could just be totally making this up. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. Now, something else I read on the interwebs. Hargreaves Lansdown, British financial services company, never could quite understand how to say it. Well, they found that not only did women beat men by 0.81% in returns, if they were to continue their investment strategy over a 30-year period, their portfolio would be worth, drumroll, 25% more than a man's.
Yes, queen.
Yes, queen.
Yes.
Yes, queen.
I think it's no wonder that some women investors are absolutely crushing it right now. And guys, by the way, I think it's time we leave the kitchen jokes in the past. I know what you're probably thinking. What's this guy on about? Where's the hotshot big league women investors? Well, look no further than Kathy Wood, who founded ARK Investments in 2014. She simply packaged some breakthrough stocks into exchange-traded funds. Within 6 years, Kathy had grown ARK to over 40 billion in assets, with roughly 46% average annual return, which, for the uninitiated, is insane.
Tesla's still in the running, but I would have to say the biggest upside surprises are going to come from the genomic space. And that's because the convergence of DNA sequencing, artificial intelligence, and gene therapies, importantly CRISPR gene editing, are going to cure disease. That convergence is going to cure disease. Now we have real science and technology surfacing the mutations in our genomic profile.
Another one, Amy Zhang. I've heard that she took the Alger Small Cap Focus Fund from 16 million to over 7.5 billion in assets, with an average annual return of 30%. And hey, if increasing your assets from 16 million to 7.5 billion doesn't make you good at your job, I don't know what does. I mean, I don't know. Now, I could talk about the 1%ers all day long, but I figured, why don't I ask the ladies themselves? What do they think about women in trading or investing? And I'm not talking about the scammer, Miss Gurus that are spammed in the comments section constantly. Actually, I sent around 40 emails to a bunch of ladies here on YouTube that either trade or invest, explaining the premise of this video and asking for their time to do an interview. No success, they left me hanging. But then I had this nirvana moment. It's like the sky opened up and I just knew. I knew exactly who could join me on the show. And I think you know her. I'm joined here today by my good friend, even a mentor you could say, Louise McCauley. And I know a lot of you guys probably unsubscribed to the channel when she left. She's here now to share her 2 cents about women in trading. So let's take it away, shall we? So where have you been, Louise? Why have you said bye-bye to the screens?
Okay, well, I haven't said bye-bye to the screens. I am just on a sort of a different screen right now.
You got into fitness, right? If I'm correct. Probably better for the mind?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I've done my time in the corporate world, so yeah.
So how long were you working in finance?
Well, I was in finance for about 6 years, and then I was actually here with Finance Illustrated as well for about a year, so about 7 years altogether.
Okay, it's a lot of time.
It is indeed. But yeah, I knew that I didn't want to sit in an office cubicle for the most part of my life, so I made the transition and I started working in the wellness space.
Well, that's cool. You know, the funny thing is I always remember you doing these little quick workouts at your desk, so really not surprising to me.
Yeah, like I've always been into fitness, always. Even when I was here in finance, always into fitness. But yeah, I do come back to the Finance Illustrated offices from time to time to sit down, have a little chat with you guys, and have a little coffee because, you know, being in the Forex industry for so long, it definitely still holds a place in my heart, that's for sure.
I can definitely attest to that, true.
Yeah, but my reason for leaving the corporate world was always, it's not you, it's me. So yeah, stick around to the end of the video and we're gonna have something special for you guys.
Trust me guys, Louise is a beast when it comes to getting in shape, so stay tuned. Now, as you worked in the finance industry for so long, did you ever feel as though you had any sort of disadvantages compared to the guys in the office? What do you think?
Well, yeah, okay. Look, there's no doubt that the trading industry is dominated by men. And when the men outnumber the women, of course, there is sometimes this feeling of maybe you don't belong. But I think it all comes down to mindset in the end. I mean, do you care if you're outnumbered by men or do you care about what you're actually doing? I mean, in the end, if you love what you do, does it really matter if Eddie across the room thinks that you shouldn't be there? No offense to any of the Eddies out there.
Damn it, Eddie.
God damn, Eddie. But yeah, what he thinks is not your problem, right? It's his problem.
Yeah.
So I think that sometimes it's a problem for novice traders, and not only women, but men too, in that they think it's too late to learn. You know, somebody else knows the market better. What's the point? I'll never do better than them anyway. So, but yeah, that's simply not the case.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. When I first started learning about stocks was initially what I learned about. I thought it was in my early 20s, and I thought like, I should have been studying this thing in kindergarten, you know, so
Right.
There's so many guys ahead of me, but that's just simply not the case. Why care about others when you've got your whole life to learn? So totally agree with you.
Exactly, and you know, the basic fundamentals can be learned quick and easy at any age, and I don't think that gender plays a role here at all. We all have the capabilities to learn, and of course with the Trading Game app, it's so easy to learn the basics.
By the way, guys, for those that don't know, Louise was instrumental into building the trading game. She really played a huge part in getting the project off the ground. So she knows all about it.
Yeah, I mean, the main point of the Trading Game app was to create something that was visually appealing, where people could learn easily through obviously reading, but also through graphics as well. So I think we did a good job at that.
Yeah, for sure we did. I mean, the love we get from the users is, you can't even measure it, so yeah,
That's
we did
for
a good
sure.
job.
That's for sure. So going back to that previous question, I really think that the question that you need to ask yourself is, do you have the humility to start literally from the bottom and learn? So in my case, when I started, every time I learned something, I wanted to learn more and more and more. And the more I learned, the more I wanted to learn.
Exactly.
So why is this a potential market mover? How have these events impacted the pairs in the past, and what are the analysts predicting, so on and so forth. I was so curious all the time, and in actual fact, when I decided to move off into health and fitness, I honestly thought that I could juggle both, share my knowledge about Forex, keep that thing going, and do my fitness thing on the side as well, but I really knew that I had to choose one. There's only so many hours in a day, and when you put your heart and soul into something, I think that you should go all on one thing.
Which is why doing those workouts with you was so hard, because I'm putting all my heart and soul into the Trading Game app
Right.
and this thing, and you know, fitness has sort of taken like a step back in my life, but I'll work on it, I promise.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. So, roughly 7 years in the finance space, what would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned through trading, investing, being in the markets?
The biggest lesson, without a doubt, is how you perform under pressure.
Tell me about it.
That's really it. I mean, that determines everything. And how you recover from the losses and how you move forward as well is really, really important. As I said, we can all learn the basic fundamental principles, but men and women actually respond differently to risk and reward, and they also respond differently to failure and loss. Actually, it's funny, there was this study done at the University of Pittsburgh where 2 men and 2 women were asked to perform some simple addition. And in the first round, they were paid 50 cents per correct answer. And in the second round, they had a playoff and were awarded $2 per correct answer, while the other participants got nothing. Later on, the participants were asked to choose the model they would like to be paid on, the right answer or the winner takes all. And 75% of men chose winner takes all, while only 35% of the women chose it. Though the actual rate was exactly the same, the winning rate was actually the same for both. So what does that tell you?
Well, first of all, it tells me you've been out of the game for a while, but you're still dropping some knowledge for our viewers, so that's great. You're still sharp. Yeah, but I can definitely attest to that, because as a man myself, if I didn't have self-discipline, I'd probably go the gambling route as well. You know, winner takes all. You only got one shot in this life, you know, this kind of mentality. I used to have it. You only get one shot, go max out at it, but that's not gonna get you anywhere. You'll hit and miss most of the time.
True, that is true. And also I think that it kind of shows as well as that point that you touched on, it shows that maybe men have more confidence in this game than women. But if we go back to early childhood, both boys and girls are conditioned differently in a sense that male self-esteem is built often around adequacy of performance, and female self-esteem is often, but not always, built around adequacy of relationships.
Cool. So, in your opinion, what would you say is the biggest advantage that females have over guys, over chimps like me, you know, in the markets? What are your thoughts?
All right, well, women tend to have more patience, and they also change asset allocations less frequently than men, which could on occasion be a good thing. On the flip side, only 5% of female traders take a good amount of risk, and where there's high risk, there's also the possibility for high reward. So females definitely play it safer. I'm generalizing, of course, but that is usually the case.
Seriously, only 5%? It's a real number?
It's a real number, and if you can imagine, right, there's much less female traders out there compared to males. So if it's only 5% of the female traders, that's already a really small number. That 5% of that really small number is tiny.
Seriously, that's tiny. Lastly, what would you say to the girls who are still on the fence about trading, investing, diving into the markets? What would you say to them?
I would say do your research thoroughly. For example, if you want to short the euro dollar because you're expecting the US unemployment figures to come in maybe higher than anticipated, but the ECB lowers interest rates unexpectedly and you weren't prepared for that at all, then your trade could go south. So definitely do your homework.
Yep, pay attention.
Pay attention. And if a trade is going south, cut your losses. Don't dwell on it, just move on. There's plenty more trades to be made.
Literally thousands in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's definitely worth mentioning that you obviously need money to make money. And we're going on a little bit of a different road here right now, but often women have to put their investing career on a bit of a pause to take care of kids. So when women go on maternity leave, their income is usually significantly lower. So if you're a woman thinking about investing, do it before kids if possible, and put some funds aside for when you do have kids so you can continue your investing. And lastly, put in the work, make the mistakes, learn from them, grow. And when you become more knowledgeable and experienced, you will really, really begin to believe in yourself for sure.
Girls, don't take it from me. Louise here is the living, breathing proof that it is actually possible to succeed in the markets as a lady.
Yeah, the only obstacles are the ones that you create in your mind. So we're going to get stronger. We're going to do some workouts.
Perfect.
And yeah, we'll leave all the links below so you can check them out.
Yep. Thanks.
Yep.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Back to the studio.
So what are the key takeaways from this? Women have shown time and time again that they can outperform the guys in the market, and they're just as capable, if not more, of seeing excellent market-beating returns. I mean, Louise did it for what, 6-7 years, and now she can do what she actually loves. Sounds like a good deal to me. So if you are one of the 56% of women that are held back from investing out of fear, there's only one thing you need to know. You've absolutely nothing to be afraid of. Finance Illustrated, guys, take care of your women, support them, love them, and everyone, stay safe. I'll see you in the next one.